Hello Flickering Myth family and welcome to our channel. My name is EJ and in this video you guys better buckle up because we have quite the daunting task ahead of us. I have seen the new Little Mermaid movie and I did not like it. I almost liked it. That's one of the problems I have with it. But yes, we are going to try to figure out everything that went wrong with Little Mermaid 2023. Look, first and foremost, I'm going to start off by saying I am not the prime demographic for this movie. I liked The Little Mermaid growing up. I was one of the original fans of it kind of vibe. I get it. So this remake is not built for me. It's for a whole new generation. So I'm going to take my bias out of there. There is a lot of nostalgia I have attached to this product. There's a lot of just stuff I do enjoy about The Little Mermaid. The songs, the characters, the idea, the story, even going back to the original Hans Christian Andersen story. I like what this has. So again, at the core of this movie, I do not hate this Little Mermaid. I think there is a lot of potential that is here. I think Halle Bailey is amazing as Ariel. I mean, she doesn't have a lot to do because she doesn't speak for half the movie, but she's a strong contender. She really holds this movie together with a solid, very endearing performance. There's also performances I did not expect to like as much as I did. Melissa McCarthy's Ursula, you are gonna beg for her to appear on screen because she's the only one understanding the tone, the style, and what we needed from this movie. Also, Sebastian, yeah, he looks terrifying, but he's actually charisma and he's fun and charming that you're like, I will deal watching this creepy little crab dude if I can actually get a joke, a laugh, and then, Scuttle comes and you're like, oh my goodness, get the hell out of this movie. Yeah, this movie has a lot going on. It's another live-action Disney remake, and I'm not going to say that we need any more of these, but I'm not really against them. I'm not against remakes in general. Fine, whatever. You have the idea. We've been doing remakes since the 30s. This is not a new concept in film. It's just been overdone. Disney's trying to, remake their live-action, or their animated classics to these live-action movies, and they have yet to really hit as hard as they can do. And this one is a prime example. There's just so much that weighs it down. And we're going to go through each and every one of those major talking points. There's a lot of little details I could get into. But overall, let's just get into why this does not work and why it could have worked. First and foremost, this movie does not look good. There is times where I think the underwater scenes have a moment, but I was so desperate for them to stay on land because it felt real. It felt like they were on sets. There was costumes. I actually liked the stuff where Ariel was trying to deal with Prince Eric. We will talk about Prince Eric and the charisma void that is that character slash actor. But yeah, I think this movie has a visual struggle. It's just not that good to look at. Kiss the Girl. We've seen the clips online. It's a little darker than it needs to be. When there is colors, it's bright. There's a vibrant aspect to it, but even those vibrant colors just feel as muted. They feel more muted than they should. It reminds me of the Lion King a little bit, where I'm like, this looks okay. I understand what you guys are doing, that photorealistic, same thing here, but that doesn't translate to spectacle, to a blockbuster. Photorealistic, I'm like, wow, this underwater scene looks like it's underwater. Okay, there's just a oomph. Same thing with the CGI. There's sometimes where I did not even notice it. And there's sometimes, near the end especially, there's a moment where, Ariel's swimming, and I'm like, that is a fake human being. That is a rubbery CGI creation. What are we doing? It's those little moments that kind of, they take you out. When things are going good, you're like, oh, okay, I got over Sebastian's creepy eyes. And now that there's another struggle. Even Ursula's design, I like the idea of it. I think Ursula, in the face looks good. So divine, so classic Ursula. But I'm just she doesn't look good. It's just a character design, a little, again, the little small details that could have made this be a little bit more easier to look at. It's hard to look at, and you know what? It's even hard to listen to at times.
Remember the swamp? Remember my song in the swamp when I was like, wham, chicka, wham, wham.
Whoever changed the arrangements for all of these classic songs deserves to be fired. I don't know if it's you, Lin-Manuel Miranda. I'm not going to blame you for everything. I will blame you for that Scuttlebutt song. God-awful, atrocious. should be like the EGOT you're going for. You should be able to have to like, we should make you wait 5 more years to get that EGOT because of how bad Scuttlebutt is. But in general, the arrangements of the songs sound different, and this is going to be the most nostalgic, like, well, back in my day, I love the original songs. Each one of these songs sounds different. There's like a different arrangement to the music. The vocals are a bit different. It just doesn't hit the way the other songs used to hit. Poor Unfortunate Soul, they got rid of the iconic body language. Like, what? I mean, Melissa McCarthy's Poor Unfortunate Souls, she sounds like Pat Carroll. She's giving me it. Like, I like her voice. I like Halle Bailey. I like her voice. Daveed Diggs. Again, these are all singers except for Awkwafina. They're all decent at their job singing it. It's just the songs let me down. They just don't have the oh my god factor. It sounds like they're like Broadway versions that they try to fit into a film. And again, Broadway music and film cinematic, like musical music, they have to have different oomph, different crescendos, different vibes to really make it hit. I mean, then there's times where I'm like, why is Ariel singing like Under the Sea? Like, I get it, Halle, like, you got a good voice, throw it in, but I'm like, that's not how this song goes. It's hard to get past, but again, if you like those classic songs, I went into thinking I was going to love the music of this movie, because I love the original Little Mermaid music. It didn't sit well with me. You can listen to this on Apple Music before the music, Spotify before the movie even comes out, and you'll notice, you're like, this sounds close, but close only works in certain things and does not work here with the music. Another issue I have, I understand the controversy that they made The Little Mermaid a black girl. Oh my goodness, the horror, the struggles. So you know what they made us deal with to pay for those sins, I guess? There is so much more Prince Eric in this movie, and oh my god, he's so boring. Every time we dealt with Prince Eric, I was just like, oh my god, if this was the weight of having a white lead male to counteract our black female lead, oh my goodness, throw a redhead in this movie then. If that was truly the shit that I had to deal with, because Prince Eric has never been a thrilling character, but wow, there is so much more time spent with him being a pirate. Like, I did kind of miss the Pirates of the Caribbean movies in the beginning of this. I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot I like boat time adventures. Not with this dude, and then, him trying to figure out his family life, there's just a lot more Prince Eric, and no offense to this actor, I just think the material he was given was bad. His new song, it is giving me, like, what was that movie? Barb and Star Go to Vista Del Mar, Jamie Dornan's really hilarious parody song. That's what his song sounded like. It was very like, and I will do this, and I love the girl, and I'm like, wow, this was the most boring song they could have given the most boring character. And then it's like, oh yeah, he's about to kick ass at the end of this movie. Spoiler alert, the good people win, and I'm like, he doesn't deserve it. What is going on? The Prince Eric character. Same thing with King Triton. I like Javier Bardem. Boring. Daveed Diggs is saving the male actors in this movie. He is desperately trying to be like, look, men matter in the Little Mermaid story. And I'm like, they do. They should. Not in this movie, because, oh my goodness, the men. Javier Bardem, whatever the guy who plays Prince Eric, I am so flustered. Visuals, music, some of the acting. What else could have gone wrong with this? Overall, it is way too long. I could have forgiven each and every one of these movie sins if you would have just honestly cut this about 45 minutes. How do you add on almost an hour to the original movie and give me nothing new? Nothing new. Like, the third act completely rushed. Like, we all know Ursula gets big. If you played Kingdom Hearts, if you've watched the original movie, that stuff is like done in 2 seconds. I was just like, oh wow, Ursula's big. Here's the big third act, and now we're wrapping up the story. What? Like, everything is like, the pacing of this movie is wackadoo. It's crazy. Like, we're like done with the land stuff, and then we're like, oh, back to the ocean, but back to the land, back to the ocean. It's confusing. It's hard to deal with sometimes. It also shows you some flaws in the original story. Like, I like the original Little Mermaid, but this pointed out, there's not a lot of Ursula in that. Like, once Ariel goes to land, it's just Ursula kind of waiting around. Even before that, it's just a lot of like, look what Ariel's doing. I really needed Ursula integrated more. If you were going to change stuff, add more, give me more Ursula and King Triton. Like, they are the true, like, main source of the story. Like, they're the brother and sister who have beef. She's just using Ariel to get back to King Triton. And I'm like, give me more of those two together. Javier Bardem and Melissa McCarthy, like, actors, when they want to be actors, give me them together. It's just, oh my god, the pacing, the runtime. Again, if this was an hour and 45 minutes, I would have had less complaints. I would have given this probably a positive score on Rotten Tomatoes. Been like, it's not great, but it's fine. It was quick and easy. No, it's long. The music sucks. It's hard to look at times, and some of the acting's bad. It's just a mess. Whoa, I did not realize I was gonna go in. Like, I was just like, let's get into my Little Mermaid review. I ate this movie up. I am so sorry. Wow, Rob Marshall, you directed my favorite musical of all time, Chicago, and you have not able to hit that same level yet. Again, this movie has potential. I think there is people who are going to love this. Little girls who have never seen The Little Mermaid, take them to it. Enjoy it. Have a good time with it. Even if I didn't, there is going to be some people who love it. I've seen some reviews who people absolutely adore it. So definitely see this for yourself. It's not unwatchable. It's just things I said definitely weigh it down from my experience, but I want to know what you think. Are you going to be watching The Little Mermaid? Have you seen it yet? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Subscribe to Flickering Myth because we make videos like this every single week. I almost said we make movies like this every single week. We do not make movies like Little Mermaid. We make movies like The Baby in the Basket. Coming soon. Cannot wait for you guys to see that. Anyways, subscribe, thumbs up, comments, and let's talk about The Little Mermaid below.